private living, beach house, Saquarema City, July 4. Congratulations, Americans, for your Independence Day, and we will have our history today, quite simple, quite clear. We are launching a new blog, the Risk Report 2022, tracejuly.blogspot.com. It's the thing we do, and the special thing we are doing as the trial week 06, issuing obstruction, presenting proofs, more proofs from the consumer law in Brazil, the organized crime law in Brazil, the law about abusive procedure perpetrated by criminal offenders on public institutions. If this has a continuity, it's confirming the Article 74 as integrated failure, with 23 item 1 as distribution and redistribution of institutional power by nepotism, which implies equally economic institutional power by overpayment on contracts and illicit transference from public treasury by specific hands. And the communication law, with the consumer law as basic rights, which is my guarantee as compensation. This is our, issue. It was issued with the International Task Force as a law enforcement against organized crime in general. Trial week 06, obstruction, risk analysis, violation of privacy. Please consider ask to our offenders at debitor system if the monitoring procedure, if exists, has signatures of chairs at the judicial system, which implies not only the system of justice by the prosecution, the police, departments related with, plus companies used for criminal purpose from public corruption. Chairs at the judicial system in order to them nominate the chairs on abusive procedure, read by you. You will observe if they will lie. I bet they do, as usual. Please consider ask to our offenders at the debitor system if they have or had violated data, my specific data, which is forbidden by Constitution on Article 5, Clause 12. It's a guarantee, criminal offender. You can do this, right? In any case, no situation. It's literally written. You should look, take a look, read your Constitution. Please ask to our offenders at debitor system if they have had doing monitoring procedures and collecting exclusive access code information, exclusive, only me. At the commerce website, when they send you an exclusive access code to you, have the entrance at that website or the bank. See? If they have had used exclusive services like Spotify, antivirus, e-com websites, email, social media, tracing you, maybe, but not as the violation of data, now as obstruction, because you will lie in front of the bench. Please consider ask to our offenders at the debitor system if they have had doing abusive procedures which affect diffuse areas by corruption, like consume of websites and e-commerce, communication, financial system, security as international cooperation using the communication sector, by and having a provider by payment with a contract in general violated by the provider and the offenders as public corruption using or associated with this provider. Do we have this criminal offender? Please ask to our offenders at the debtor system if they committed obstruction of justice by abusive procedure to commit, perpetrate, or keep criminal activity in general ruled by them or very associated with them all, as integrated failure in the way we proved in the very beginning. To commit or keep criminal activity, avoiding legal consequences, changing data, using the access code and exclusive service as your email or your antivirus. To avoid legal consequences against them and their specific and individualized wrongdoing from institutions with these criminals inside, which unfortunately go by institution as solidarity. Charge against institution that must point the offender for punishment, but the solidarity of two both remains for the coverture of our financial paper, 35 trillion. God bless America. Happy July 4th. Consumer law. Brazil allowed this creditors committee to switch the order of proofs and present this as an accusation in the way we did, in the way we are doing, to the West judicial analysis. But notoriety of facts and circumstances would be enough, despite this quiz above, that we had this conversation. Law 8078, Article 2. Who is the consumer? Same law, Article 6, clauses 6, 8, and 10. General basic rights, including the switched order of proofs, keeping the accusation now at the consumer sector, with segmentation on communication, considering the collective and use and violation of exclusive conditions like service, access code, by interference, by monitoring procedure. Had you did this, my criminal offender? And law 9472, the communication law, Article 3, clauses 1, 3, and 12. It says that I must have service properly provided and I can't suffer discrimination in the way I'm having. And the compensation on Article 12. If your abusive procedure to serve and protect crimes, criminals, and transnational organized crime, impacting and violating my exclusive access as email account or something like this, pushing our interests now with legitimacy to bite you. The compensation is against the solidarity between offenders and institutions. The paper will be covered. The harassment case, after all, 3 billion, equally covered. First step now is the research, as financial research, for individualization. Then we have the law 13,869. It's abusive procedure, only and exclusive made by public chairs. Specific hands committing this crime. With the law 12,850, transnational organized crime law, which can be applied in an international procedure like this cooperation. Articles 1, 2, and 3, that the public corruption serving the transnational organized crime and serving very well. especially when the transnational organized crime turns them in to obtain the privilege that they need. Paper against institution regression for guiltiness, if they may. Paper against institution that will cover and offer the criminals as part of the debtor to be under punishment by law. Always. Paper 35 trillion. 33 as compensation, considering all money diverted plus 2 trillion as financial punishment, in the way you suggested, flowing by factory, which is a causal document. The causal relation has origin on illicit acts that I suffered as violation of my privates, my guarantees, my basic rights, and 1% of first trillion, 50-50 with other financial thefts. I applied my 15 billions, I think, using 7.5 billion, 3.5 to 3 billions for urbanism in Europe, Western urbanism from Europe, 3 billions from Western security from Europe, 1.5 to royal stamp, royal to the Royal Crown as UK stamp this with accreditation. Then this is the CDK MOUTINHO, my professional registry, self-defense and credit protection. We are the steering committee, we are charging you all by law. See? We will now commit blazing act as obstruction. Happy holidays, Americans.